today I'm going to talk about a different part of my mental health stuff. And this is going to get touchy, and I'm very much expecting this to get touchy to certain people. So I want to phrase this as best as I can before I start going into my story. This story is going to involve relationships with women. And due to it being about relationships with women, I will be openly discussing my bad experiences with dating women. And with that in mind, I am going to point out that this is not a derogatory line of I am just shoving all women in the category of being bad when I'm talking about them in this way. These are bad experiences that I've had with select individuals. In no way am I ever looking at them as literally representing the entire populace of women. That's never the point. I just want to point that out just in case anyone thinks, oh, he's gonna slam about women and badger on about women and say how crap they are. I'm not. These are bad experiences from specific women. I will be pointing out those specific women that have caused that trouble to me. My best friend is a woman. I have many friends both in chat, out of chat, and everywhere else that are women. I respect the living daylights out of women. But these select individuals... Right. So where do I begin? To start off with, you can imagine being bullied in school a lot means I did not have a lot of confidence to approach the ladies. And as a result of being bullied, I was incredibly lacking when it came to confidence and when it came to self-esteem. So I go to upper school, like I've explained in an earlier mental health talk video. In the UK, when I went to school at least, it's kind of changed now, but we have a 3-tier system. You have your primary school, your middle school, and your upper school. This is when I'm in upper school, so this is like the last major part of my educational standing, where that involves GCSEs. That's where you would normally end, and then if you want to, A-level, which I did end up going into, but that's nothing happened at A-level really. So in upper school, everyone was getting into relationships, left, right, and center. You had girlfriend and boyfriend here, girlfriend and boyfriend there, and it was the mentality of, can you find your high school sweetheart here? Because if not, it's going to be hard afterwards. And oh boy, I was dreading it. But, of course, you go to upper school, you've been through the hard puberty bit. What do I start noticing? Oh, there are ladies here. And so, of course, the male natural libido picks up, and I start finding interest in some women, and didn't do too well, obviously. Me being a bit of a nerd, bit of a well, I saw myself as a loser, but with my mental health state at the time, no way was I confident enough to approach women and say, hey, you want to date me? No way. But this is what happened. Year 9, so when we started upper school, I befriended a lovely group of people, and one of the people specifically in that group is now my best mate. So if you're watching this at any point, D, hello. Doubt she would, but you never know. It's a small world after all. And so D being my best mate now, back then she was just a really good mate. I had a lot of mates back then that I came up from middle school with, and then of course I was making new friends with the new school. Made friends with Dee and her little group of mates, and her best friend at the time, who I shall not name, and I refuse to name. So this individual I found attractive. We got on very well. We had quite a few bits in common, and you could tell, Dee very much could tell, that me and her kind of had an odd little thing going. So the guys kind of got together, pushing me one way, pushing me the other way, and in the end, that was my first relationship. That was my first proper relationship, technically. The only bad part, I look back at that relationship and I hate it after looking back at it in proper detail. So I was with her for 9 months. 9 months for your first relationship when you're in upper school and still dilly-dallying everywhere. That's not bad. That's pretty good, pretty alright. Especially for a guy like me at the time where I was not the most confident guy, blah, blah, blah. You've heard it a million times by now. So eventually, after those 9 months, I got dumped. I got dumped by her. But I did not get dumped in the way of let's have a proper chat about it and come to an agreement. So it wasn't anything like that whatsoever. This is what literally happened. It's a weekend. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was checking my emails at the time. Because bearing in mind, I was like on YouTube at this point, making YouTube videos left, right, and center. I'm still doing my content thing today, yes, but that was where I was like really into it a lot. Again. No, it wasn't even a text rave. I got dumped by email. Freaking email. In the age of MSN Messenger, the early days of Skype, I get dumped by email. And even the early days of Facebook and all that jazz. Dumped via email. So that was one thing. I get, like, it's a carefully written email saying this, that, and the other. And I got dumped. Simple as. So that happened over a weekend. Coming to school on Monday. And I want to chill out with those guys because they're mates. But I'm in two minds. One part of me really wants to chill out with them. The other part of me doesn't want to chill out with them because I got dumped via email. So I was a bit like pushed back by that, you know? Pushed back. So then what happened was I'm sat down, I'm having lunch during lunchtime. And I had D and another one of the mates come over, sit with me, see how I was doing, and I was open about it, saying I just kind of feel awkward because of getting dumped and everything. Of course they knew about it because they were best mates with her, which is absolutely fine. They had no bad intent towards me whatsoever. But then it was what they said. They said to me, well, it was expected to get, well, we can expect things to happen. I mean, if you were going too far, you were going too far. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they said, what do you mean what we're talking about? And so they didn't know that their best mate dumped me via email. It's not just did I explain the whole thing, I actually found and got up the email and showed them it. And to say they were shocked was an understatement. They were enraged. Because apparently, she had told these two guys that are also mates with me that she had dumped me over the phone as a phone call. And apparently she had decided to dump me because I tried, and I cannot emphasize this enough, she said that apparently I tried, and there's no other better way to say this, and I'm sorry if this offends or triggers anyone, borderline rape. Basically. She had pointed at the idea that I had somehow was borderline committing rape because I was effectively trying to get somewhere with her without her consent. And that just completely broke trust and everything broke down. That's what the mates explained to me, right? As soon as I showed them the email and explained to them my side of the story, they realized what the actual hell is she talking about. Because this is so to put into context how it came up to this point. We started the relationship, bearing in mind it's my first relationship. I'm happy as Larry. I'm committed right from the get-go. I want to go out and do things. I want to meet up with guys. We want to go on dates. We want to go here, there, and everywhere. Chill out with each other. Have fun with each other. You know, build up the relationship, be a couple, and do all the happy couple stuff. But what kept happening on the regular, at first it wasn't regular. Every now and again, she would come out and say, sorry, I'm busy this weekend, I'm doing bits with my family. Absolutely fine, I'm not gonna complain about that. Or, sorry, I've already booked something in this weekend with a mate of mine. Again, absolutely fine, not a problem. But then I didn't clock on until way later on, but I was just accepting this. But she would tell me that she was busy, when in fact she would book to meet up with other people after telling me that she was busy, and then tell them, and then they would tell her, oh, why aren't you out with your other half? Why aren't you out with Dom? And she would say, oh, he's busy. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, what am I doing? Like, homework? Like, video stuff that I can do whenever I want? Like, I'm not busy. She's lying to them openly, saying that I'm the busy one when apparently she was. Neither of us were busy. She was trying to basically blag of getting out of doing anything with me, basically. And at first it wasn't too bad. We kept meeting up, kept doing fun stuff together. Then it get more and more and more busy until effectively one day at school, bearing in mind 9 months in a relationship, we have been hugging, kissing, you name it, making out, blah blah blah. All I did the week literally Friday before the weekend and prior to that email, all I did, because when we go up to our form classes, we're in different form classes. So when I say goodbye to her and I'll chill and I'll meet up with her after school, normally give her a little peck of a kiss, off we pop. Simple as. I thought, we're 9 months in, give it a bit of a go. I did a bit of a deeper kiss. Because I thought to myself, no, I've got a bit of confidence, I'm happy in our relationship, we're 9 months down the line, I'm happy, she's happy, I'm sure she'd appreciate this. And then I got that email over the weekend, all because of a kiss. So instead of talking to me about it, she immediately dumped me, started throwing me under the bus, saying that it was potential rape, and everything else in between. I am not lying. I tell this to her best mates. They are infuriated. They did not bring it up with her in school. They brought it up with her outside of school when it's just them. And effectively the truth came out. And the truth came out that over that 9-month period, my first ever relationship, where I'm still a little bit rocky on the confidence front, gradually building up, we find out, and I'm not lying, she was with me for that 9-month period to get with another guy. She was using our relationship status. She was using the fact that she was in a relationship and seemingly more desirable because she's in a relationship with someone to try and get with another bloke. Yeah. Kinda bad. The good part of this story is that a lovely bit of karma happened, because it turned out the bloke that she was trying to get with came out as gay, which was the single greatest bit of karma I could have ever asked for. So on that front, I kinda got my own back. Kinda sweet in later on. And it was really cool at that time as well, because that was also a mate of mine she had a crush on that then came out gay, and I was really proud of them because they were umming and ahhing, and I was kind of feeling that they were, but I'm the kind of friend where I'm like, look, I think you are, but I'm not going to say anything. You have to come out with it yourself, because at the end of the day, you have to be happy with who you are. I was so happy for him, and I was also really happy on the inside by the fact that the karma smacked her across the face harder than anything else. Beautiful. But effectively, that single relationship went from, okay, I am where I am, gradually building up confidence, and then when that happened, nosedive. Confidence gone. Absolutely wiped from the books. Fast forward 4 or 5 years at this point. I do not have another relationship in 4 or 5 years. At all. I don't date anyone. I don't go out with anyone. I don't show interest in anyone. My confidence is belittled so much that I have zero confidence in myself, zero confidence in finding a significant other. It's dwelling on my head every single day to the point where I think to myself, I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life because of how terrible that one experience was. But fast forward to the end of sixth form, or roundabout sixth form. During this time, on YouTube, I believe I was doing videos on Red Alert 3 by this point. It could have been before this. But effectively, when I was doing YouTube videos around Red Alert 3, and I think I've got some of my Red Alert 3 videos still up on my channel. They're really, really old videos. Feel free to check them out if you want to. When I was doing the Red Alert videos, I became very good friends with a girl on the other side of the world who lives in San Francisco by the name of Athena. Very nice lass, very jokey. We got on like a house on fire. It was crazy. And it wasn't until the end of sixth form where I'm thinking, I'm really good friends with Athena. I love that. We have a lot in common. But nothing happened, right? Nothing happened. Fast forward again to the end of university. So at the end of university, I was 21. Again, by this point, I think my first relationship was when I was, like 14, 15? God, I can't even think that far back. Around about there. And now we're talking 21-year-old me. Just graduating from uni with computer games design, got my certificate and everything, fantabby-doo. I have been talking with Athena every single day whilst I've been at university. We've been playing games together. This is when I played League of Legends. I know, cringe. Oh no, you were a League boy back when it was. Look, I got into it then. I'm out of it now, and thank God I am. But we played a lot of League of Legends together. We were even potentially leading up to being in Challenger, which, if you don't know the ranked levels of League of Legends goes from bronze up to platinum, and then after platinum you can even, I think it's not directly after platinum, but there's a higher rank from platinum called Challenger. Effectively, if you're in Challenger, you're basically ready to be hired or picked up by an esport team to do professional League of Legends. And at that time, me and her were so good at League, we could have potentially been picked up by an esports team together. We could have potentially been picked up. It was that mad. Like, we would duo bot lane and just completely wreck face. It was something magical. And so I graduate from university. I'm on a high. My confidence is brimming. University made me feel like the man I'm supposed to be. It gave me all the confidence I could ever ask for. It gave me a newfound sense of self. And because of Athena being a major part of all that for me, I was playing League with her one day, and then I said to her straight, would you like to be my girlfriend? Understanding that what I'm asking is, this is a very long distance relationship, but I'm so confident that we have something here that I asked her out. She messages me back, and she openly says to me that she thought I would never ask her, and she was umming and ahhing about asking me herself. She immediately said yes. It was absolutely wonderful. Now, here's the good part. The good part is the relationship I had with Athena was lovely. We had a lovely relationship. It was really wholesome. We chatted every day. We did everything we could potentially do with each other with a long distance relationship like that. I traveled all the way out to San Francisco for Thanksgiving and her birthday, because they were around the same time. I spent that time in San Francisco on my own. First time I'd gone on a long haul flight on my own to somewhere completely different I had never been to. One of the single greatest experiences of my life. But I was openly a cowardly wreck. I was terrified of everything. And it was great. The only thing is, the relationship didn't really work out that well because of a long distance. We agreed with that. Athena is incredibly happy now with her new boyfriend Dan, which is now her fiance, and they're going to get married this year. Hope everything goes through. If you are watching this at some point, Athena or Dan or anyone, I hope things go well. I hope you're well. Please hit me up and let's catch up at some point. Amazing. I love them to bits. So Athena, good egg. A very good egg. But then, I'm still confident at this point. I still feel good in myself where I feel, okay, no, it is possible for me to get into relationships. I'm not going to be alone. This is where I make a big mistake. Well, no, this is before I make a big mistake. Correction. Before I make a big mistake. So, during this time, I'm going out on a consistent basis with some of my best mates. We normally go to a karaoke bar in town. It's very nice. We know the karaoke guy, very sound guy. We get to know the regulars and we all get to become really good mates with each other, which is great. That's fantastic. And I get to know this one lass. This one lass, I have now come today to call her Supermassive Black Hole. Because that's how big her downstairs is, if you catch my wind. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, Supermassive Black Hole. The first day I met her, she came in from college with my best mate. And whilst my best mate and her got changed in the women's bathroom, I'm there chilling out with the guys, getting a drink, etc., getting ready. And they come down. She comes down. She's in this stunning dress. Really nice black number. Sparkly as well. She looks like $1,000,000. Genuinely. Just stands out, steals the show, and I'm like, damn. Literally. And the trick is, my best mate tells me she's been telling her all about me, how nerdy I am and everything. Effectively, she's already into me, and she hasn't even met me yet. The trap has been set. So effectively what happens is, we spend a lot of that evening together, chilling out, having all those fun times, and effectively start getting a bit smoochy. She actually instigated it first, getting a bit smoochy, a little bit holdy, all that jazz. It's looking pretty good for old Domo. Great stuff. She had to go because of a sudden family emergency and her mum needed her home right stat now. Understandable. Absolutely fine. That was great. We kept meeting up on a regular basis and chatting, and that was absolutely fine. But then problems started to arise. The way she started to talk to me changed, where she treated me as if I was a fleeting thought. She started to eventually treat me as if like giving me like one-word responses to like conversations, telling me okay or KK or hi as a response, like really bad, simple, low-level responses, and this is out of nowhere. And then we're still meeting up, and when we meet up, it's something completely different. But in like texting conversations, which is the best way to stay in communication for what we had at the time, it was just bland. It was like she was a completely different person. So I'm like, don't know. So this is bearing in mind, all this is happening. It's a few months down the line. I feel confident in myself to come out to her and say, hey, I want to ask you out. On that day where I was about to do it, again, karaoke's flying and all that jazz, she smokes, which is fine. I have no problem with people that smoke. She goes out into the smoking area to smoke. Absolutely fine. I didn't think anything of it. I'm chilling out with some mates. We're just chilling out. We'll wait for her to come back in, and then I'll consider saying it to her. At that time, I thought to myself, no, I can't keep it in. You know what? I've got to go out there. I don't care who's out there. I've just got to tell her. Because even if she says no, at least I know it myself. I've made that move. I'm confident. Let's go. Go out to the smoking area. She did not go out to smoke. She went out there to go into the arms of another guy, and they were literally doing the two-tongue tango as deep as I could humanly see, without curdling my eyes. To say it broke my heart is an understatement. It didn't break my heart, it broke my heart, it broke my sanity, it broke my confidence, it destroyed everything I had built up from this point, from university up to now, everything I had had at that point, snap, gone. And in an instant, as soon as I see this happening, I do the one thing that I have in my heart and my head that I feel like I have to do. I grab my bags. I say goodbye to my mates. I say to them I'll explain things later. I got the first taxi I could all the way back home. I immediately blocked any and all numbers, any and all accounts related to her, and I bawled my eyes out. Alas, that had genuinely built me up to believe that we had something. I felt completely used. We weren't even in a proper relationship, so it wasn't even cheating, but I felt used this whole time. Bearing in mind, we have been out with each other. I had bought meals for us. I had bought, like, drinks, etc. Like, we're talking hundreds of pounds worth of dates and going outs, etc. that I had put out there as the gentleman. Because I'm the one who seemingly had all the money all the time when she had none. And in fairness, at that point, she actually didn't have a lot of money to her name whatsoever. She was like living week by week. I had a job. And I was having steady income, so for me it was okay, because I knew I wasn't gonna buy drinks all the time and blow the bank. I'm not that kind of guy. And if anyone said, "Oh, don't you want to buy me a drink?" I'm like, dude, I've already bought a few drinks tonight. I'm not buying any more. Sorry, I need to think about it. So I'm not susceptible to that. Don't get me wrong. But all of this happened. Everything broken to pieces. Gone. Dead. Everything destroyed. And that moment resulted in me opening up about my mental health at work. I bawled my eyes out at work during a late weekend shift when it was really dark outside. I had a nurse come to me, because I work in a doctor's surgery. I had a nurse come to me, said that she had heard me crying in the toilets, and asked me what it was about. I was open about everything, and I had started getting therapy for my mental health. That was the day I started looking after myself properly. Because there was no further low I could get than being personally, kind of physically, and mentally destroyed in a single instance. And it put into my mindset for years. Like, it dropped my confidence for ages after that point. And then I had my therapy, which was amazing. Huge shout out to the wellbeing center that we have in my local town. Fantastic service. They helped me tremendously. And my doctors as well. Absolutely amazing people. Everyone helped. It was great. And my friends, my family, blah, blah, blah. Everyone. Just thanking everyone for being amazing during that time. Which then leads on to a good part of the story. And I want to end on a good part. So I have my therapy. I go through all that. I'm gradually building myself back up again, but I'm not quite there. And then Dad looks at me, and Dad says to me, "Why don't we have a holiday together, just two guys? And we go somewhere that we really want to go, that Mum may not necessarily want to go, as a lad's holiday." I had never thought of doing a lad's holiday with my dad. It was the first time we had ever done it, and I loved it for every single second. We went to Vegas. We had saved up the money to go to Vegas for, I think we spent 5 or 6 days in Vegas, and we stayed in one of the hotels, literally in the center of the strip, right opposite Caesar's Palace. Everything was there. It was larger than life. It was everything I could ever imagine and more. We went to the Grand Canyon, one of the single greatest experiences of my life. Going to the Grand Canyon and just seeing how simply amazing this wonder of the world truly is. It's gorgeous. And I highly recommend anyone to go to Vegas and check out the Hoover Dam. I also did Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam was really interesting for history reasons as well. Really, really good. But the Grand Canyon, definitely check out Grand Canyon. So awe-inspiring to think that that's just Mother Nature. It's beautiful. Genuinely. And I came back from Vegas. Huge shout out to Dad for just being amazing for that, by the way. But amazing holiday in Vegas. Come back. I am literally on a confidence high. I'm back to the guy that I know I'm supposed to be. And just bearing in mind, 3 years before going to Vegas, who did I add to my Facebook? A blonde beauty that I'd met on a Comic-Con page by the name of Heather. We had chatted here and there, sure, on and off. She was in a relationship at the time when I first met her, so we were just mates, just chilling, chatting when we could, all that jazz, and it was fine. I knew for a long time she had been out of that relationship, so I just thought, oh, I hope she's okay and all that jazz. I come back from Vegas, day one back from Vegas, check my phone. You check Facebook, and you know when you open up Facebook Messenger and you got the little green faces at the top of people who are online who you may want to talk to now? There was Heather, the first one. So I thought, you know what? I haven't heard from Heather in a while. Let's talk to Heather. From that day, ladies and gentlemen, and ever since that day, I have never stopped speaking to Heather. As a result, I have now been with Heather for what is coming up to 3 years. I am in the happiest mindset of my life, in the happiest relationship of my life. I love Heather to pieces. She is literally my rock, my best friend, my everything, and I will preach her to high heaven and back. And thanks to her, thanks to my mates in my town and my best mates in my town, thanks to my family, thanks to you guys, especially because streaming and doing YouTube bits helped out tremendously as well. So thank you to you guys when I properly got back into streaming with all my confidence back and everything. I got back what I had lost. Gambling saved your love life. I didn't even gamble. I didn't even gamble in Vegas. You know what I did in Vegas? I ate. I ate and I drank wherever I went, and it was great. I only gambled once, and it was on slot machines, and I regretted every single moment. My dad did gambling on a blackjack table. He actually did quite well. I think he won like $200 on the last night we were there. That was awesome. He did really, really good. That was really great. So yeah, and now I'm just in the best mental shape of my life. Sure, I still have dips. I've been open about them with streams and on Discord, etc. When I have dips, I like to talk about my dips. And I think this is something I want to end my mental health story on. Whether it be about relationships, whether it be about relationships of a significant other, family, friends, etc., or whatever gets on your mind, or whatever makes you feel as if you're not worth it. You are worth it. You do deserve to have friends. You do deserve to have family. You do deserve to have your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, wife, husband, children, etc. You do deserve it. Regardless of what your mental state may say from time and again, you do deserve it. And if you ever feel as if you're coming into question whether you do or not, please do me a solid. Talk to someone. Talk to your significant other. Talk to your family. Talk to your friends. Talk to someone like someone from Mind UK who's completely impartial, because if it's dwelling on your mind, things could get very bad very quick, like it did for me. And I don't want anyone going through those same experiences again, thinking they were left on their own and no one was there to help. Everyone's there to help. You reach out your hand and you'll be very surprised who's there to grab it. Let's put it that way. So, to end it, my time in relationships, when it came to proper relationships with my boyfriend, girlfriend, have been really bad for the longest time in my life, and making me think that I didn't deserve to have another half. I was going to be perpetually lonely for the rest of my life, and quite frankly, just forever. I was basically in the mindset of forever alone for depression years. And now I can gladly say the time will come. The perfect person is out there. That person will make you. And you'll be quite surprised how happy you can end up being with that right with that right burp. There you go. No, with that right person. My god, I'm gassy. I'm so sorry. It's because I had stir fry earlier before the stream. I do apologize. So there you go. At the end of the day, if anything's dwelling on your mind, big, small, relationship-wise, school-wise, bullying-wise, work-related stress-wise, anything-wise, reach out to someone. Talk to someone. Reach out that hand. Someone will be there to grasp it. Genuinely. And with that, that's the end of my story. Thank you for watching.